Over the past few weeks, we've seen Noor do a lot, from parrying a dragon, making an emperor wet himself, and ultimately by the end of episode 11, he Hulk smashed the emperor to the point of basically begging for death. But the thing about episode 11 is it's more than just the laughs. And maybe people will say this is an exaggeration. Frankly, I don't give a shit. I think I Parry Everything with episode 11, it's kind of entered that masterpiece level for me. Now here's the thing. Some people just want Noor to know how strong he is. If that's your opinion, that's your opinion. I don't. What they did with the emotional directing of Noor still not knowing his strength, but having to accept a reward, not because he wanted to, but because he wanted to help Rollo. That level of emotion, it sets him as a hero, and it makes the journey up to this point feel so rewarding, that even though he's still an idiot, he's our idiot, who doesn't know his strength, but goddamn is he a hero. I have full live reactions over on Patreon. If you want to see me just rant and rave about this wonderful series, it's over there exclusively. It is such a funny episode, while being something that made me want to cry. It's very rare for me to even get glossy-eyed watching stuff, because at the end of the day I know it's fake, and even though I can have connection to characters, it's just, I typically save my tears for stuff that's real, with real deaths or real emotion. But man, that Rollo end did get me a little choked up. The idea that we know this is a kid who's been locked in a cage, I didn't need Rollo to say, oh my god, the bread's soft, to know that Rollo never had not stale bread, fresh bread, you know, like, the idea that, of course, it's not just immediately he's gonna have a land and house and everything like that, but the idea that, for right now, staying with our girl, and you have this beautiful buffet, there's a pork chop, there's some stew, fresh bread, and just the first, like, the fact that you can have food in front of you, and it's not until she says that's yours that he's like, wait, what? Because of course, why would someone as pathetic as him have food? And just the fact that balls out, just crying, and she has to say, you don't have to rush, the food's not good. It's just, what a beautiful way to end it. And the idea that I truly thought it was going to be a joke. Because what the hell does Noor want? He already has the legendary Excalibur that he shovels the gutters with. Like, what could he ask for? A pork chop? You know, who the hell knows what he's going to ask for? Nothing. But the idea that he's like, you know what, there is something I want. And it's actually the most devastating thing a king could be asked, because at the end of the day, demon folk, you know, accepting one into your kingdom could very much start a lot of conflict. It's not good. But the idea that you wouldn't be alive without his help, it not only shows the kind heart that's inside Noor, it also shows what type of a man he is. And I think right then and there, it was at that moment that he looked at Noor and truly thought he was a hero. Obviously, he had heroic deeds up to that point, especially given, you know, the city wouldn't be here without him. But the idea that his offer is, I want nothing. Any extra stuff you want to give me, use that money to support the people who lost their homes and family. But for me, you said you'd give me land, you'd give me a home. I can't, because internally in his head, he's like, I can't support Rollo. Like, I don't have the money and the funds to do it. But this is a great opportunity to set someone who lost everything up for life. And what a selfless action. Just beautiful. And sure, it is funny and a little frustrating that Rollo's like, no, actually the dragon was listening to you, but gets cut off. That's this show's charm. If you don't like it at that point, you're never gonna like it. Like, that is part of the charm, but the fact that, in a different way, but in a similar way, both this and the Osanubi Adventurer did something with a dumb character who doesn't know they're strong and went in two very different directions, but the idea that Noor never quite understanding he's as strong as he is, and actually it's just he kind of supports here and there. Hell, he thinks having a floor to brace his fall is the reason he's alive, not his Hercules-level joints. But the idea that we actually are getting this emotional buildup and characterization, most people just find him amusing at this point, and I can't say I blame them. Now, all the emotion was great, of course, but it was a funny episode too. We start the freaking episode. We're in this Final Fantasy looking location, industrial. It just feels so cool. Like, I wanted to explore it like it was a video game level. They shoot the giant laser cannon of death. They have to power down most of their empire to shoot them. Immediately parried. Essentially, a nuclear blast was launched at this dragon, and the dragon would have died. They all would have died. There's no way her shield was going to be enough, and he just comes crashing down. I think this is probably the single funniest thing the show has done. The Emperor is about to get killed. He's getting jumped by his guards because the guards are like, we need to kill this man, give them his head, and hopefully our area will be, saved. Because in most circumstances, yeah, going against the leader who got you in the mess is hopefully going to be the way out. But the idea that Nord, multiple times, by saving him, is basically beating his ass senseless. At one point, he's dangling in the wall by his head because he throws him so aggressively. Which, granted, he is trying to protect him, but I almost believe everything that he did to him is probably worse than any beatdown that these guards were gonna do. Just fantastic stuff. And he's like, why is this old man getting jumped? This is elderly abuse, more or less. But the idea that, I truly believe this, had the Emperor not killed hundreds of people, destroyed countless homes, if he was able to keep the throne himself, I truly believe we broke him to the point that he would have been the most yes-man emperor up to that point. But as our group says, we can't just forgive and forget. And the idea that we basically say, we're going to beat you senseless, we'll shatter your legs, we'll heal them right back up, we're going to make you suffer the exact pain that you implied to us. It's like, I was not ready for that. I was not ready for the level of savagery that this man was going to go through, and it felt satisfying, but even by the end, I was like, Jesus, even that's a little much for me. I just found this episode, I found the past 3 episodes, personally, 9, 10, and 11, just, it delivers. It actually progresses Noor's character, it progresses the characters around him, it keeps the gag and joke going, but in a way that doesn't feel like they're just doing, he's just as stupid in each interaction. The way he responds like, no, actually, it's this, or no, actually, and just the way the misunderstandings can keep him oblivious to the true truth, it doesn't feel like they're doing the same joke twice. I really think they've done something special, and for me personally, like, there's 3 shows particular that have gone above and beyond a formula I didn't think I would see. It's The Osanubi Adventure, I Parry Everything, and No Longer Allowed in Another World. Those are the holy trinity of this anime season that are new, fresh, different, and did something bold and unique, and I truly think are ending their shows on a banger. Let me know what you thought down below, because Noor has done a lot of things, and the fact that casually parrying an atomic level laser blast was the smallest part of this episode speaks magnitudes of how good this episode was. Let me know your feelings, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course ring that bell, and like I mentioned, full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got Misto Dreamer, Isaac Seitling, Kusho, Sebastian Price, Dude, James DeBest, Eris Coteris, AMV, and we also have Alcium. So appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and you all have a good one.